Chris convo. Chris convo.
And welcome to another episode of Crazy Combos, where we have crazy conversations about just about anything. Yeah, literally anything goes. Try us. I am here with my great friend Dino. How you doing, Dino?
How you doing, buddy? I'm over here chilling. You know how it goes, Pablo. Contemplating life, and the many eventful things that happened to me.
Yeah. Let's have a crazy episode discussing the greatest boxing match of all time between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul that just happened.
You're happy because you won money on that. Did you actually bet?
No, the guy didn't want it. Well, there was a few people. I
Oh,
think
that's
only one of them
lame.
took me up on it.
That's
See, I think
lame.
yeah. I think I was a little too eager to take those bets because they were like, oh yeah, Mike Tyson's gonna knock him out, and I was like, Mike Tyson was past his prime 20 years ago when he got knocked out by a B-level fighter, one fight before he retired. Um, I love Mike Tyson. Like I've seen his highlights. I'm a big fan of boxing, big fan of combat sports in general, kickboxing, Muay Thai, like everything. Especially UFC, but and boxing. But I also love all other combat sports. And when I tell you that Mike Tyson is one of the greatest, and at the same time one of the most overrated boxers of all time, and is true. And it's hard to describe what is true, but Mike Tyson in the '90s, one of the greatest boxers of all time.
He was an animal.
Yeah, Mike Tyson after the '90s, one of the most overrated boxers of all time. Is he's one of the most famous boxers, and I think that's why a lot of people think he's like the best of the best. Um, but I knew that it was gonna be a side, no, a sad
A sight
fight
to behold.
because yeah, it was. I didn't even watch it, to be honest. I just knew
I didn't
because
either.
the man is 58 years old. This is not the first time we see a boxing legend fighting in his late 50s against a younger guy. Um, so I cannot believe people were actually trying to bet me that Mike Tyson was going to win, but every time I was a little too eager to accept those bets. So I think I only won $20 because everybody else kind of backed out in the last minute.
You had you had to have a poker face, Pablo. You can't be like all excited whenever you're like, oh, I'll bet you. Like they're gonna be like, oh, I don't know, this man's too confident. I'm dog shit with making bets. I hate gambling.
Yeah, no, I just need to I need to trust myself more, honestly, because there's a lot of I watch a lot of fights and I predict a lot of good victories. And when I'm not sure, I obviously wouldn't bet. But I feel like I could actually make money, but I'm afraid of betting money because I have a kind of an addictive personality for that type of thing.
Rocket toe.
So I feel I would eventually like it would just be about the thrill. It wouldn't be about winning or losing. It'd be about the thrill.
It's a
Like, oh, you know.
it's about the love of the game.
Yeah. But how was your week, Dino?
My week was all right. I'm not a huge combat sports fan. I am the kind of guy that just listens to, or he hears a big name, and that's all I know about that person is their name. Like Mike Tyson, Canelo, never seen their fights. I've only heard of them. Like they're famous. Um, One of them likes biting off ears. I'm not sure which one,
Yeah.
but
But if you didn't watch, so you didn't watch the fight either, right? Did you watch the highlights or did you watch people's like reactions to it?
most of the news I get is strictly off TikTok, which is probably the most reliable source out there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't I don't know. Like I I opened up Netflix today. I was just kind of like looking for movies, and I happened to like open up Netflix, and my wife was like, "You still have Netflix?" And I was like, "Yeah. Why? You didn't think we had, like still had it?" I was like, "I thought you canceled it. Like we never use it." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. There's nothing good." Um But like, I don't know. The
Wait,
whole
wait. There's nothing good on Netflix. Arcane is coming out right now. League of Legends
that's
show
one
is so
show. That's
good.
one show out of like 20.
Hmm?
That's one show out of like 20
Yeah,
new
yeah.
ones that get
No, I
released.
literally restarted my Netflix just for that, just for Arcane, because I was so excited. And yeah, man, it's. I don't know
Okay.
if you want any spoilers. Uh,
It's still relatively new.
I was gonna say I don't want to give any spoilers, but let's just say that it had my wife at the edge of the seat. Like me and my wife were just like, even when you know something's coming, it still hits you hard.
You and your wife are edging.
Yeah, I'm talking about the show. Like
Oh,
there was a couple of things in Arcane that we saw it coming, or at least I did, and I kind of told her like, "Oh yeah, I think this is gonna happen," and then it ended up happening, and it didn't really lessen the impact by that much because the show is just like beautifully written. Like it's not like a masterpiece. Don't get me wrong, but they definitely did a hell of a job. Like
I'm about to say
this is
I
great.
don't think they did anything wrong with the first season. Like I think it was a pretty good season. I like the art direction they went with. I like the
Except
music.
except for Caitlyn. Like
Oh
Caitlyn,
yeah, that you're right.
yeah, her face looks weird. That's like my only problem with Arcane is whoever designed Caitlyn's face, it just looks. I don't know. She looks old and like anorexic.
And I'm assuming that isn't fixed in season
No.
2. No. Yeah.
Well, they kind of changed her look at one point, and she looks a little better. But no, for the most part, it's just her face design. Just I don't know. It looks kind of bony and like makes her look older than she is.
Yeah, is she supposed to be like 16 or something, like relatively young?
I don't think she's underage, but she's definitely.
You better
I'm
hope
just
she's
saying.
not.
You remember the whole diva thing where
You better
I
hope
think
she's not.
Diva was supposed to be in high school, and was supposed to be fighting like Diva from Overwatch. She's
Yeah,
supposed to
yeah,
be
yeah.
driving that mecha, and she's like the best gamer in the world. Blah blah blah. I think her original age was supposed to be 16, and then they there was a lot of um fan art. Let's put it that way online about her
A
that
lot
would
of
have been illegal.
a lot of
So they ended up
naughty
this
doodles.
yeah, this is like before the game was released, right? So there was a lot of fan art that would have been illegal. So they changed her age to 18. So
Based.
I just feel it's kind of safer to design a
It
character when
doesn't
they're like
it doesn't matter. Like it
what
doesn't
you're
matter.
saying is like art shouldn't be illegal and we should but like depending on how many times a person has gone around the sun.
No, no, not that. I'm saying like it doesn't matter to these Rule 34 artists. They're gonna draw a character in any odd, weird, or lewd situation. Like the age does not matter, which is it's something that I think I don't know if it stems from Japan. I don't want to say it does, but like I never understood the attraction to lolly stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a dangerous topic to get there. Like I'm not into that, but
I mean, I guess it
I don't know if I
doesn't.
would blame. Yeah, I don't know if I would blame the country, but no, that there. Yeah, but I think there's a difference between like lolly and like, well, like I said, this is a dangerous debate, but I think there's like a difference, right? Like, there's a difference, like, because come on, like lolly is like very very young.
I
It's like
mean,
sick level.
like I said, I never understood the attraction of that. It's weird, but I mean, I mean, I suppose it doesn't hurt anybody. I mean, you can look at it as like a gateway drug to like hard like inappropriate illegal stuff, but it's a drawing. I mean, there's a lot of shit out there that is just I don't know. It is that's a topic we can't really get into. I know we're crazy convos, but it, I don't know.
It's just we're not educated enough. Like we will literally have to like really read our sources and stuff before we can talk about that type of thing.
And like I was saying, like I don't even know why there's so many pedophiles out there. Like you look at some of these Guatemalans, bro. They're literally like fun size. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I what I wanted to say is that I remember, and there was a comedian that made a joke about this, how like there are like different levels to pedophiles. So like I think one of them is called like hebephilia, and is basically when you're attracted to pubescent children,
Mm-hmm.
like that's like 11 to 14, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's like pretty bad.
Pretty, some might even argue
That's like the
illegal.
worst, right?
Yeah,
But then there's like yeah, yeah.
some might even
That's like the
argue.
worst. But then there's uh epophilia, which I think that's the one I ended up looking it up because I couldn't remember the name. But that's like a when you're attracted to like younger teens, like 16 to 18,
Mm-hmm.
which in my book, and maybe this will make me sound like the worst comeback, but to me, that's not as bad as somebody that is like a pedophile, like hebephilia. They're attracted to pubescent children, or even the ones that are attracted to the ones before that. Uh, no, those are, in my opinion, sicker. Not that it's right for you to be attracted to someone 16 to 18, but like there are countries and states where that is legal, or like back in my grandparents, they were very young when they got married. I think they were around that age. I think they were around 16. So to me, that's a little bit more acceptable, maybe not morally right, but it's not like doesn't make me sick to my stomach if like, like an 18-year-old dates like a 17-year-old. Like I think we all either went through that or knew somebody that went through that. Like somebody that was like 19 dated like a 16-year-old or something.
What
To me,
if?
that's not as bad. Um,
What
but
if?
like, yeah,
Hold on,
if
hold
it's
on,
like a grown person dating a child, like that's wrong at every stage. Don't get me wrong.
hold up. What if? All right, stay with me now. What if you jerk off to a crush you had back in high school, but you haven't met them recently? So in your mind, they're still that high school person, but you use them to fap. What does that make you?
I don't know, but yeah, I just know that I listened to a joke about comedians that actually made me think about it, and it was this that there are different levels to pedophiles. Like there are like the guys that are attracted to like 16-year-olds, and that's like okay, that's still bad, but it's not as bad as the guy that's attracted to like
But at that
10-year-olds.
point, you might as well just wait the next couple like 2 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's
I just
like,
wait it out.
well, I mean, for
Or
me,
go to one of those countries where it's like where you could legally date somebody. I think in some states. Oh, that's kind of crazy because I think there are a couple of states in the U.S. where we automatically assume all states have like the same age of consent, but I believe there are some where it's lower than 18, if not most of them. Like
yeah, Thailand. You can go to Thailand. You can do anything in Thailand.
yeah, I think you end up in a list if like if you're a single guy that goes to Thailand to visit, or like the Philippines. Yes, because a lot of people travel there for that.
I don't know. I can't leave the country, so fuck do I care?
Yeah, but I think there are a couple of states in the U.S. where the age of consent is 16, and there are some where it's 17. So that's kind of crazy, ain't it?
Sure. Whatever floats your goat, as I always say. Speaking of floating
Unless you're
goats,
harming children, then at that point,
speaking of
then
goats,
yeah.
what I'm about to say has nothing to do with goats. But anyways, so my job, I'm literally just standing around, just contemplating life. I was working one day, and as I was just like thinking back on this one experience, you have those times where like something doesn't hit you right away, so you kind of just don't think about it, and then one day it just occurs to you like, oh shoot, that was messed up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I was chilling at work, and then I was thinking about something like, because my mom was saying like, you know that feeling you get when like someone calls you pretty, someone calls you like beautiful, and I'm like, I don't think I've ever lived that. I'm ugly. I've never been like hit on. I've never been like complimented like that. So I'm just like, I don't even think I've gotten advances from a woman. And then I think back to this one time I was driving to work and I happened to be like at a stop sign. It's in a shadier part of town. I was at a stop sign and this woman came up to me. Um, she looked like a regular person from far away. I guess she didn't. There's nothing that kind of raised my alarm at that point. But she got in my way. Like she got up to my car. Like I'm like, what does this woman want? So I kind of lowered the window, like, can I help you? And she was like, hey, I just came from the hospital. I got my shots. Like, I need a ride to this gas station. I was like, huh? Like she was mumbling and like she sounded incoherent, and she was talking about her shots like she was an animal, like she had all her rabies shots or something. Because she was like, "No, yeah, I came from the hospital. I got my shots," and she showed me her arm, and I was like, "Lady, what? Like, do you want to ride to the to the gas station? Like, it's kind of out of my way." I was trying to tell her like, no, I don't. I don't think I can do that. I gotta go the opposite way. So she was like, "Come on, it'll be like it was like it was just right down the road." So I was like, "Fine, get in the car. This is my good deed of the day." So I start driving in the direction of the gas station, and then it's like a stoplight, and the lady was like, "Turn left here," and I was like, "Left? It's a straight shot, woman. Like, why do I need to turn left?" So I was like, let me try not to freak her out because she's gonna. I was afraid she was just gonna like tweak out and like pull a weapon on me, or like a shiv, or just like grab the wheel and turn it while we're driving. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was like, fine, I'll go left. So I went left, and then she's like, all right, take a right. I'm like, okay, took a right. So eventually she was like, I want you to guess what the race is, by the way. But she was like, sucky sucky, $20.
Well, Saki Saki makes me think Asian for some reason,
Uh huh.
but I don't think there's a lot of Asian people around here. So I will go with African American.
Ding 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 ding. Yeah, she was black, but she literally was like sucky sucky $20, and I'm like, huh? He's like, yeah, I give you head for $20, and I said, no, I'm good. I'd rather not. She had like a AOE of just like dirtiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in cartoons when like there's like a dirty kid or someone gets like dirty, they have like smudge marks and like little lines and shit, like a little cloud.
Yeah.
That's what I imagined her, because she just it. I couldn't tell if she was a crackhead or if she was just on something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she was
Yeah. Yeah.
mumbling.
Yeah.
She'd be
She
like,
just
huh?
something just wasn't right.
Yeah, she was like, take a left here, baby. Take a left. I didn't see the light turn green. Like she's like laughing and like kind of giggle. I don't know what her approach was. Like it was so weird. Anyways, so we keep driving, and then she's like, "Oh, you got $1?" I was like, "No, I don't carry cash. Like cash is for old people." So she was like, "You don't got like $5, $10, like $1?" I'm like, no, I don't have any cash. Like, and she's like, all right, go straight, take a right. Like, still just driving me around in circles. And I was like, I just need to get this woman out of here. I gotta go to work. Like, I need to drop this bitch off. I don't care if it's in the middle of the road. But, like, she's just like left, right, left, and eventually we get. It was like near the gas station, but it was in the middle of like a neighborhood. So I guess I took her home. Maybe she's homeless. Maybe she just wanted to get out of the cold because it was like 50 degrees outside. So she was like, maybe I just wanted to like get out the cold, whatever. I was just ready to get her out of my car. So she's like, all right, stop right here. So I said, I stopped. And she opened the door. She goes into her pants. Mind you, into her pants. I don't mean in her pockets. Into her actual pants. Right in the middle, in the
Right in the
coochie
coochie.
area. Right in the coochie area. And she pulled out a crumpled up $5 bill and tried to pay me.
Hey,
Like,
at least she offered to pay.
yeah, I mean, I was, but it's so confusing because I was like, so you wanted to give me head for $20, and then you kept begging for money, and now you're trying to pay me for the ride with
Hey,
coochie
respect,
money?
man. She was trying to pay. Like, she didn't want to take no. She's a strong, independent prostitute that don't need no man.
I see it. But like, and then she slammed my car door. Like I wasted her time or something. Like, and like, lady, like I was just trying to give you like a ride home or something. Like, why are you getting upset with me? And I like you have a confusing approach. Your pitch is fucking weird, and and you're acting like I wasted your time, and then you try to pay me. Like, lady, get out of my car. Like, get that like contaminated dollar bill away from me.
um, this is gonna sound so crazy, but I have a similar story. It's not very different from yours.
But I was just I was just standing there, and I was like thinking, was she just like a woman of the night? Like, now that I think about it, I don't know how she got that far, like walking or like by herself. Like, I think she was a woman of the night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, she probably was, or she was just some crackhead trying to do anything to get some crack.
But why would you give me money then? You know, it was really
It was
confusing.
a
But
matter of principle.
I'm just glad she left. Yeah, she has
Maybe
morals.
she was like this mofo broker than me.
Like, yeah, she was probably like, he was like, oh, you don't got no cash, you broke bitch. Here's a little something for
Don't
you.
even have $1. Damn, I feel bad for him. Let me give him this money for my cooch.
I don't want to think about it.
Did you smell it?
Fuck
Should have
no,
smelled
I didn't. I was
it.
like, she didn't. I was afraid she was gonna just throw it in my car, and I was gonna have to like pick it up with like a garbage bag or something to throw it away. Cause I mean, I know that's illegal, but I'd rather like throw that away than risk contaminating my hand with an STD.
Yeah. The crazy thing, is I have a story of something similar that happened to me.
Hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
So one day I'm driving by this neighborhood. My friend lived like right in the ghetto. Like, oh, there's some crazy stories when I would go visit him. Like one time we were just hanging out in his house, right? Because I was I was driving and it started raining really bad, like tornado alarm and everything. I literally couldn't see, so I just stopped in the middle of the road,
Hmm.
and it was near his house. I forgot he even lived there because it was raining so hard I couldn't even see. And eventually the rain stopped, and they were like, "Hey, you want to come in? 'Cause I think that's your car." And I was like, "Oh yeah, just wait for the storm to pass." So I get down and I was like, "Okay, so this is where you live?" Yeah, and they were like, "Yeah, we just didn't want you to park there because it's the ghetto and like our neighbors are like drug dealers. We don't want you to like get in trouble or something." So after that, I started going more to his house to hang out because like we had a good time that time, and we would go there, we'd play games, just chill, just talk. One day we just oh, we did see like smoking hot girls, like like with nice cars, like in their early 20s, like
Out in the
college
rain?
girls. They would go there
Out in the rain?
to the neighbor's house, like this rundown, falling apart house. This middle-aged black man, and they would just go there, would go in, and like get out, and we're like, yeah, this guy's definitely a drug dealer.
The
And one time, like the what is it called, the DEA? Yeah, the drug agency. They just
the FDA?
yeah, the FDA, whatever, the alcohol DEA,
The no,
drugs,
isn't
alcohol,
it just
and yeah,
FDA? The
I'm
Federal
pretty sure it's the
Drugs
DEA.
Association. The
Oh, now you're
federal
making me look it up.
the federal drug agency.
Drug Enforcement Administration or whatever.
FA no fuck DAE
DEA.
the fuck I'm
Drug
dyslexic.
Enforcement Administration. Anyways, they go and they literally like did a raid in his house, like a surprise raid. And we're like right there, and like one of the guys starts running away. The police are chasing him, and he runs to like a different neighbor's yard, and like he's trying to like, and oh, it was just crazy. And we're just there watching, like, bro, it's kind of like a movie. Like we're just there eating chips, watching this thing go down from his windows.
Here's the Benny Hill theme.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was kind of wild. But back to my story. So I'm driving through this ghetto. I was gonna go visit my friend, and I see this blonde girl like walking by, and I'm like, man, like I'm thinking she looked like younger, and I was like, man, maybe like her car broke down or something. That was my thought because she looked out of place in the ghetto, right? So I'm like, okay, like what's white girl doing at the ghetto? So she did like a she raised her hand for me to stop, and I was like, okay, so I stopped, and then she was like, oh yeah, can you give me a ride? And me thinking like, yeah, her car broke down or something, innocent at the time. I was like, yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, where do you need to go? She's like, oh, just drive. I'll tell you. Kind of like, dude, kind of like they did you. And she starts telling me like, oh yeah, can you go here, go there? And I'm like, man, no, no. Like eventually I'm like, man, she's kind of taking me to like an abandoned house, like abandoned warehouse or something. I'm like, man, are they gonna jump me? Like I start getting scared. Like, man, this is a setup.
I had the exact same thing too. She was like, "Yeah, we can go to my house." I said, fuck no."
I was like, this is a setup. And I'm like, nah, nah, nah. You tell me where you need to go and then we'll go. Cause like, I think you ain't setting me up, right? And she's like, no, no, no. I just want some privacy. I was like, privacy? I thought I was dropping you off somewhere. Like, didn't your car break down or something? She's like, oh, and then she like flashes me and she's like, here, you want some, like, she's like, basically tells me she'll suck my dick for like $5 or something. So it was cheaper than yours. They were like $10. Or I
She
forgot the initial price.
inflation's
I
a
think it was
bitch.
yeah, I think it was like $10. I think she did ask for 20, but then when I was like, nah, she was like 10. And I was like, nah, I don't have that. And she was like, how much do
15.
you have?
She just keeps going.
Yeah, she was just like, I just need some money. So eventually I'm like, look, like, nah. And then she's like, you gay or like what? And I was like, no, I'm just don't want to have like sex with you. Like I started like I really noticed her. I was like, yeah, this woman is like early stage of crackheadedness or whatever. Like she doesn't look horrible yet, but you don't know if she's willing to go down on the price. Like, yeah, this is not it. Like, I'm not risking getting STDs. I didn't even have condoms with me, and like, there
So
was just
you considered it.
I was just like, nah, nah.
But she had
Eh,
did she have like something to offer, or was she like just
she wasn't
was she fairly
terrible
attractive?
looking, but you could already tell like the crackhead, like the
Was
crack
taken
was
over.
starting to be like, like
It
her
was
teeth weren't completely gone. Yeah, she wasn't like horrible looking, but she wasn't good looking either. Anyways, regardless, I was like, no, like $20, bro. Like everybody in the city must have run it through by this point. So I just like, nah, I just need to get out. And she's like, can you at least drop me off here? Okay, do you at least have $1? She's just asking for money. Eventually, I'm just like, nah, I don't have any money, bro. Just get out. And then she's like, and then she notices this pennies and like nickels that whenever I got change, I would just throw it like at like the the little tray in the center of the car, by where you put your arm.
yeah,
There was a
yeah.
little tray in the car. So I had like a bunch of pennies and nickels. There weren't even quarters there, I believe. It was just mainly nickels and pennies. And then she's like, "You gonna take this change?" And I was like, fine, you can have it. Like, I don't even care because it's been sitting there for so long. She started getting all of them, and then I'm just like, yeah, but hurry up, just get the change, get out. And then she starts like getting all the change, and then she's like, oh, let me make sure I didn't miss any. Starts looking under the seats, and I'm like, bro, just go. And then she's like, ooh, found a penny. Ooh, found a penny. She took all my pennies, all my nickels. She took them all, and eventually I'm just like, bruh, like this is so weird. And then I started thinking, like, man, what if people saw me picking her up and they thought I picked her up because I was trying to bang her or something? So I was like, oh, I hope like people don't hear about this and they're like, oh yeah, this guy. Because at the time I had like a little, I think it was like a Mitsubishi Galant. Like I had the
Hey,
GTO version or whatever. I
nice.
had like, I had like bought some chrome rims for it. I had done these little things, to make it look a little bit better. And some like the car at the time was nice. I got a couple different compliments on it from different people. So I was like, oh my man, they might recognize my car and they'll be like, oh yeah, this guy picked the prostitute up or something. So I was like, man, I was young. I think I was like 19 at the time. So I was like, man, if my parents hear about this, like I'm done. I'm toast. But yeah, she took all my coins and then she left. And then I think I saw her one more time after that, but at that point, it was like years later, and she was like gone, gone. And then she did tell me like the time she saw me, I don't know if she recognized me or she was just offering to everybody, but she was like, "Hey, you like sex?" And I was just like, me again. I can
Well,
be
do
stupid at
you
times, guys.
answer the
I can be
question?
really stupid at times.
Answer
So
the
that,
question, Pablo. Do you?
yeah, yeah. So I didn't think like she meant with me or something. I was just like, yeah. And she's like, all right. She looks me up and down. She's like, I'll do it for 50. And I was like, oh, you meant with you. I know I'm good.
And see, like
But
your lady was your lady was had like you considered it, but the one that I picked up had nothing like
no,
no
oh,
ass, no titties, no
okay.
anything that would make me like think that the STDs would be worth it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But what I wanted to talk about was that for a long time I kept thinking about okay, she said, look me up and down and said, for you, 50. And I was like, was that more expensive than normal or was that cheaper than normal? Because that would kind of affect my self esteem if some like cheap crackhead was charging me extra. But if she was charging me lower, that would be like, like confidence boost. Like, all right. So she charged like 60, but she gave me a 10 discount. But I never asked her, like, what's the baseline? I still wonder to this day, like, what the baseline price was. Because she looked me up and down and was like, I'll do it for 50.
Is she pays you for it? Could you like she's like, you know what? I want to fuck this guy. I'll pay you.
Yeah. There was a guy that told me this story. Like he talked a lot of like a lot of crap, so I don't know if it was true or not. But he told me about a time that he used to work construction and he had one of those jobs where you travel all the time, they send you here and there.
Hmm.
He said he would, he ended up getting with his escort and that the escort ended up she was like new and she was like, yeah, I just, I can't really get like good clients, blah blah blah. So he started telling her like, oh yeah, you need to do your business like this and like that, and she ended up paying him. And I'm like, I didn't believe him, but I was like, but if you did this, you are a legend. Imagine like hiring an escort and then she ends up paying you for tips.
You'd have to be like
You're a god among men.
no, what's his name? Chuck Norris.
Yeah, you're like a god among men at that point. Like, come on.
You remember those memes? Like Chuck Norris was once bit by a snake. After 3 days of painful, agonizing, uh, like pain, the snake finally died.
Yeah, pain
That's
and agonizing pain. Yeah, that's
when Chuck
crazy, man.
Norris gets a prostitute, they pay him.
Yeah, honestly, I would too if I was them.
But it's just I don't know, it was a weird memory that just happened to like come to mind while I was just chilling at work. I don't know. I'm let's move on from this.
Yeah, let's just move on from this. Uh,
You got a topic?
s- yeah, I had one. I'm just let me look it up. I wrote it down. Okay, so would you kind of like a this or that type segment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So would you rather eat only cold food for the rest of your life or hot food? And that includes like drinks. So only hot food and hot drinks or cold food and cold drinks.
You gotta define this a little more. What does like cold mean? Like frozen, or
No, no, it just means cold.
just like not like
Like a
let's let.
salad, like it's not hot. Like it's just like
Oh,
it could be like room temp, but it's not warm at all.
so you can't like, so not like pizza, like frozen pizza. It has to be specifically like, if it's meant to be served cold, then it's what you can eat, or if it's meant to be served hot, then that's what you eat.
Yeah, yeah. This like basically like this or that. Which one
Fuck,
would you rather pick?
I don't think I could do that. All right, let's list off and let's do the pros and cons. So let's list off some food that's cold. Ice cream,
Yeah, like ice cream, let's say salad. There are like like pasta salads and stuff that you can eat, deviled eggs,
potato
um,
salad.
potato salad,
What about
tuna.
like boiled eggs that are cold?
Yeah, like deviled eggs type.
Does
Yeah.
that count? Because technically the eggs would
Yeah.
have to be hot and cooked before you can eat.
You could still eat the food, it just be cold. Like you could still eat pizza, but it just wouldn't be hot
Oh well, that's what I'm
pizza.
saying. Like I'm okay with that, dude. My teeth are super sensitive. Or maybe it's my mouth. It's just super sensitive to like really really hot stuff. Like when I go to a restaurant and the food comes out sizzling, I had to give it a good minute before I can actually eat it. So I
Mm.
definitely pick cold. I also like cold coffee versus like hot coffee. Like my dad,
Yeah.
when I would make him coffee, he'd like I'd put like milk in it, and then he'd taste it and he'd be like, "Oh, it's good. Just put it in the microwave, heat it up." Like I don't like cold coffee, and I'm like, I put the milk in to like cool it down. Like I love cold stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, same. I think I would also go with cold, mainly for the drinks, because I just would hate to drink nothing but hot stuff. Like that would take too long.
Like hot tea. Oh, I mean tea,
I
coffee,
like I like tea, but it just takes too long. Like,
hot.
it's kind of like a thing I do when I want to sit there and relax. Like I don't really like just chug a hot gallon of hot tea down and like go on the rest of my day, It's
Have yourself like a fucking hot sweaty Pepsi.
yeah.
Nah, and I mean like
Oh, I heard you can drink Dr. Pepper hot. We should do that and then talk about it on the next podcast.
riveting stuff.
Like apparently back in like what the 80s, 70s or at
Uh-huh.
some point,
Yeah.
they would they even had it on the can or they had a recipe about like hitting up Dr. Pepper. Like that's a real thing that people either did or maybe even do to this day. I kind of want to try it.
I want to talk to Mr. Pepper.
I want to talk to. I want to know
No,
what the
it's
23 flavors are.
Dr. Pepper. He's earned his bachelor's.
Oh yeah, yeah, the doctor.
A fucking doctorate. I'm fucking stupid. Anyways, yeah, he earned his doctorate. I need to address him as such.
Yeah. So I have another one, okay?
Okay.
Would you rather live in a zombie apocalypse or through an alien invasion?
Are you? Is it like? Are you living? Are you thriving? Or are you like in the middle of it, just like figuring shit out?
Uh, you live in this world. Like the world is obviously not a pleasant one.
Okay, so like, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's at the beginning of a zombie apocalypse, or because I feel like at the beginning of the alien invasion, it'd probably be like kind of some of the worst bit. No,
Yeah, I think I would still go with alien invasion though. Mainly because like what are the chances? Well, it depends really, like how realistic it is. Because I feel like zombies would be really easy to deal with if they were real.
Eh,
Because it's like, oh yeah, we could just kill them, guys. Like they're slow.
it's not always just like about the zombies. Like, there's other stuff that goes into it, like rationing supplies, foraging. Becoming self sufficient.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm just saying,
Other
like,
people that are trying to survive, and like you know
I think the only way the zombie apocalypse would really be scary in like a realistic situation would be if the virus was like airborne and it kill you. Like if you had to get bitten by a zombie to die, then I feel like but like let's say it's basically movie like the invasion or the apocalypse already happened and you're in the middle of it. Would you rather be in a zombie apocalypse or an alien invasion? Oh, and what type of aliens? Like, because I mean, if there's some hot aliens, y'all can take me.
like
Like, you got like three boobs.
oh, the Sixth Sense, or what's it, Ahsoka from fucking Star Wars.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, she could take me.
But what if they're like Roger the alien from American Dad?
EU. But yeah, I
Ew.
still think. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is a hard one.
It's because I
Because I
mean
feel like,
the thing about zombie apocalypse, like if they're slow zombies, it's I'm alright with that. If they're fucking fast, I'm screwed. I would not be able to outrun them.
yeah, I'm conflicted because I feel like zombies would be easier to deal with, especially because like if they're the kind that you either need to get bitten or you need to get like hurt some type of way by the zombie to turn into a zombie. I feel like we could easily deal with that, or at least it wouldn't be that difficult. But then again, people are really stupid, so things could really get out of the control, and then somebody would get bitten, not tell anybody, and then they bite you. Typical movie or zombie pro like thing where, oh yeah, the guy hides that he got scratched or bitten or whatever, and then he bites somebody, and then it turns into a whole thing. I feel like that would happen because people are really stupid.
Or what if
And
it's
then
like 28 days later rules where like if you even if you get blood in like there's that one scene where the guy's like going to take a piss and he looks up and there's like a crow that has a little bit of the infected blood on his beak or something like that and like falls into his eye and he becomes infected.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like getting infected, depending on what type of zombie apocalypse, it could be really easy to avoid, or it could be like near impossible, where
Or
it's just like basically animal like rats or whatever could carry it too, or it could be like an airborne virus where everybody that dies turns into a zombie. And then the aliens, I guess it really depends on what the aliens are after, because like maybe the aliens are just like, you know what, like we're just coming over here to destroy your government. Your bunch of monkeys fighting each other for no reason. So we're just coming over here to take over and like maybe they're like, we're gonna make Earth great again.
yeah.
We're gonna take charge of Earth because you don't know what the hell you're doing.
First things first, get these fucking Mexicans out of here.
Yeah,
But
they're like, we can't. I don't know.
uh
I think I would go with zombies because I just feel it would be easier to deal with.
it's funny too. I saw this one. I don't know if this is real or not, but there's a game where like a zombie game where you're just like a survival, like you survive a zombie apocalypse, and there's like a mode. It's like normal, easy, hard, and then one of them was like realistic, and it would take you fucking hours just to find one zombie.
Yeah.
So like if it's like that rules where you encounter a zombie like once every fucking like while, you know what I mean? Like that I don't know. In both situations, I think we're like we're not gonna be able to watch adult videos. So either way, I'm screwed.
Yeah, but if it was realistic, the armies would just kind of deal with the zombies and be like, "All right, guys, we're gonna force all you dumb people to like actually take your health serious, like and report any bites or anything." Or it could be like, I don't know if you ever read this or like I think there's a game on Steam that I read the description for, where it's like this guy, the zombie apocalypse starts, and this guy gets bitten, but somehow he is immune to it. He has like a fever and everything, but he doesn't turn into a zombie. And now he's immune, and the zombies just ignore him because he already has the virus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then he thinks that the zombies won't like chase other people, but he tries to help a woman and her daughter, and zombies eat them. And then he's kind of like, what's going on? And then he gets horny, and then he has sex with a zombie. And this is a real game in Steam. I forgot the name. I'll see if maybe I can put it in the comments if anybody's interested. but then he has like sex with his zombie, and then like a zombie girl that he traps that tries to bite him in an apartment. He was like his neighbor, and I think he cures her with his jizz or something. So imagine having like the
He cures her with her
magical
what?
with his jizz, with his men
With his
milk.
jism? With his
Yeah, with
man milk?
yeah, yeah. So it like that would be perfect for you, Dino. I feel.
That's what I'm saying. Like somebody's cheeks are getting clapped after I go. Like if I go a while and I just haven't seen a good like
You just going after
Japanese
the zombies.
Japanese lesbian video, I'm gonna clap some cheeks. Like
No
in
zombies are gonna be safe from you. They're gonna run
yeah,
from you.
yeah, they're gonna run for me. And then
Yeah,
like the aliens, I'm gonna have to like fucking clap some alien cheeks.
yeah, same. You just
And
want to clap cheeks. That's what
well,
I'm getting
I'm
from this.
assuming in both of these scenarios, rape is out of the question. Like it's all what's it called? Um,
See, but zombies.
military rules or what was it
Yeah,
called?
yeah,
Militia. Well, there's a word for it. Martial law.
yeah. But see, I'm guessing the aliens won't talk our language, and I don't think zombies can talk. So you're fine. It won't be rape because they won't be able to say no.
The zombie's like, hello, hello, and I'm like, I'm like, I'm looking for booty, and I want to, and no, what the fuck is it go? You know, I'm talking about the booty bandit. Well,
Yeah,
shout
yeah.
out booty bandit, but I'm talking about the other one from Boondocks. Um,
The booty warrior.
fuck, I don't know, dude. Like, I
The
think
booty warrior. That's what it's called. I like ya and I want ya. Now we can do this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way.
all I know is
It makes me no difference.
I'm all I know is I'm gonna do the heroic sacrifice shit. Like I'd just be like, no, go on without me. I'll hold him off, and like that's how I get out of it.
Yeah. I feel like zombies, going back to it, I feel like we could easily deal with it. Like we just send the army, and the army be like, oh yeah, the slow ass things that don't even have weapons. Yep. That was kind of easy.
I'd have to blow my brains out though, so I don't become one of them.
All right, all right. You want to do one more of this, or you want to do a craze combo card and end the episode?
I don't mind going over an hour. I don't know if it's a upload thing. I mean, whoever's still listening, kudos to you. But I don't mind going a little bit over an hour. One more.
All right, one more. So would you rather be able to see ghosts everywhere, like like basically sixth sense kind of thing, or you hear people's thoughts all the time, like you cannot turn it off? Either way, you're getting like your life invaded by something. Either you're seeing ghost everywhere, or you're hearing people's what people around you are thinking all the time.
Are the ghosts like? Can you tell they're ghosts, or do they look normal, but they're just like in the Sixth Sense? Like they look normal to the. Oh well,
Or
no,
some of
never
them.
mind. They don't. Some of them that have really horrific injuries still look fucked up. But like the main character, or like the main guy. Spoiler alert. The main guy, when he finally finds out that he was actually dead the whole time. Um, he looked normal. I mean, but
Spoiler alert.
sorry, but he only died like from a gunshot wound, so he couldn't really see his injury. Or was it a gunshot wound or was it a stab wound? I don't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah,
Inaccurate
I
spoiler
think it
alert.
was.
Inaccurate spoiler alert.
Um,
But like,
s-
see, that's what I'm saying. Like, because it ain't like you wouldn't know who's real and who's not. Or can you
yeah, I
tell?
feel like I would choose the one with people's thoughts, because you could like move to a mountain or something, right? And like just get away from people.
Nah, I
Like,
don't.
cause I'm pretty sure it would drive me crazy to hear people's thoughts, but it could also be really useful in certain situations. And like you could just basically like go somewhere where there's like no people and just like have silence, or like go to the woods and just be like, yeah, you know what? I'm just like gonna live a solitary life for a while, or like find that one person that isn't like that's like all right. That doesn't have like all these negative thoughts that about you or like lies to you all the time, and just like live with them or in a remote place.
I just become like a poker champ. I just go do poker stuff like I'll be able to read their minds whenever they get a good hand or something.
Yeah, see, I think you could like make that one work in more scenarios where like the ghost, you really don't have control over the ghost, right? So you don't know like if they move around and stuff. So really, I
And
I just
and you
don't
just you
see.
just have to grow a thicker skin because everyone's if you hear everybody's thoughts, you're bound to get some like negative comments. Like when I approach a girl, all I'm gonna hear is "ew."
Yeah, yeah. But at the same time, the ghost one is just like you have literally zero control over this. So like the ghosts are roaming around. Imagine seeing like the ghost of somebody you love that died, and like, oh, that'd be like painful
But
to
you can
see
only hear
them.
them. You can't. You can only see them. You can't like hear them, interact with them. It's just because the
Yeah,
kid, the
yeah.
kid from the Sixth Sense can like talk to him and like help him through shit. But like, you know, uh, if it's like where you just look at them, they're just floating around or walking around or doing whatever. I think that'd be way more disruptive than like hearing people's
Yeah,
thoughts.
yeah, I don't think I could deal with that personally.
And
Uh,
like, so you can't put like earplugs in when you don't want to hear people's like anything. Or does that
nah,
not as
no, you have to like be somewhere where there's no people,
it's like transmuted into your mind directly?
basically.
Mm,
Because it's a thought. It's not like the air is vibrating and that's how you're picking it up. It's like basically going directly into your brain.
I think eventually it'd drive you crazy. Like you could not go to sleep.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I would, you might need to move like to a remote place, like in a mountain
But it
somewhere. But see, and then like people try to sneak up on you or something, you just be like, yeah, oh, you're gonna hear them coming, right?
but then imagine that like you're sleeping and you can see ghosts and then you wake up and there's a fucking face right in front of you. I mean, you're gonna freak out either way. Or you're showering or some shit and like you close your eyes and then there's just something in front of your face. Like both of them sound kind of awful.
Yeah, I would go with the thoughts one though. I feel like
Yeah,
that you could at least use it in some scenarios, and like
yeah.
there are ways that I think I could deal with it. Like if I'm craving silence, but like I feel like the ghost would be more unpredictable. Where like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go to this place.
Just go
Hopefully,
to
there's no dead people there, and then there's like ghosts there anyways.
Yeah, you can just go to the middle of nowhere on open field. I don't know what the diameter is. Is it like a in your like 50 feet from your like area or just anybody? Like you know what I mean?
It won't be like worldwide where like you just hearing them because that would just suck so bad.
Yeah,
Like
there's
that would
no
be.
way you die. I think that your brain could not process that.
Let's end it with another one of those. Okay, so you have the ability to time travel, but you can either go only to the past or only to the future. Like you cannot go back and forth, and you cannot go back to like yeah. So which one would? I think to me this one is easy, but I don't know about you. But to me this one is pretty easy. Um, what would you rather do?
Is this
Have the
like
ability to time travel, but only backwards or only forward?
well, this depends on like what happens in the future. Is this like a Futurama situation where like everything just kind of is on a loop, or is this like a
No, no, there's
is
no
this
loop.
like a Rick and Morty situation where like you keep going further and further in the future and shit just keeps getting weirder and weirder?
I mean, yeah, I think it's more like there's a linear, like it's not like Futurama where if you travel far enough into the future, you're basically traveling backwards because there's like a circle that just keeps repeating over and over and over.
Mm,
I think like yeah. So
but if I go
for
to the
me, this one's
past,
really easy. I
if
don't know what your thoughts are, but mine would be travel backwards
I
because that
thought,
means like if I screw something up, I just go backwards
but
and
that's
like
that's the
fix
thing
it.
I was about to say. Like, what about the butterfly effect? Are you not worried about that? Like, because you can go to the past, but let's say okay, so you go to the past. Oh wait, no, you're fucked because if you can't go back and forth, like if you go too far in the back, you're gonna die like way before you were even born. You know what I mean? Like
No,
like
no,
let's
because
say
you can
well,
travel back in time
But you okay, but like, all right, let's say you travel back to like the 1900s. So that means you're gonna live in the 1900s, right? Like you can't go
Yeah, yeah.
back. So that's what I'm saying. So like you're
But
stuck
you were
there.
already born because you had to be able to born to be able to travel back in time. So
No, if you want to, well then
yes.
you can only travel back, and you can only like travel back
No,
to.
you could traveling through time, which is impossible as far as we know. So
Yeah,
this is kind of like a magic thing. It's not
but if
a
you limit it to an age thing, then you can only go back
yeah,
like.
but you're not. Yeah, okay. So let's say I'm 19 when I time travel. I'm still 19 when I arrive there. It's not like
Yeah,
time passes.
but you can't go forward in time, so you're stuck.
Yeah,
And
yeah. So let's say you're like I want to live. Yeah, yeah. Let's say you want to go 10 years back and like 20 years back and invest in Bitcoin or something like.
but you're
You
still
could do
gonna be
that.
the age you are, so that means you're still gonna die 10 years, like young.
Yeah, you're gonna die at the same age.
Okay, so
Like
really
if you're
limit that
50,
that
if
really
you're
limits you
50 and then
though.
you travel back in time, you're still 50.
That really
But
limits
you're still
like
living your
your
life. Like
choices
you're
though.
still gonna live the rest of your
Hold up,
life.
but that really limits your choices though, because like, so you can't travel further back than when you were born.
Yes,
Oh,
you can. Why wouldn't you be able to?
well, because you said you had to exist. You said you wouldn't
What?
exist
No, I
yet.
never said that. You thought that. I don't know why
No,
you thought
you
that. You
you
still
just said that.
exist,
You just
but
said
you
that.
traveling. No, the thing here is that you cannot go back and forth. Like you cannot go back to the present. You cannot, but you cannot go
Right,
forward
right.
if you
So
choose
you're 50.
backwards. And
You're
if you could
50.
choose forwards, you cannot go back to the past or what used to be the present. You're
So
just stuck
it's
there.
just loop. Is it'll loop then? Because then you're just gonna like, you're gonna be.
Okay, no, it
So
won't
you're
loop
look. Okay,
because
so hold on. So you live your life, right? Okay, you live your life,
okay,
and then you go back to the year like 1900. Okay, so that means that you are the same age you are now, but in the 1900s.
no,
So
no,
that means you'll die in
okay.
like 19,
Yeah, yeah, you'll
19.
die in the 1900s,
You'll
but
die.
you'll live in the 1900s.
But you'll die like in the 19, like let's say like 1950s. You see what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah, yeah, but the advantages of that, Dino, that you're not thinking about is that you shouldn't be able to know what's going to happen to a certain extent, right? Like you could go back to like the 90s and invest in companies that are going to become super rich, like take a different name and like, just live a rich life.
but
Like,
like how? Oh wait, but will you still be born in the present?
yes, because you're traveling in time.
Right. So then it's gonna be a loop because you're gonna
Like,
be
so, no,
born,
it's,
you're gonna die, and then you're
okay.
gonna be
So
reborn.
let's say you're born, you live your whole life, and
Uh huh.
eventually you get this power, right?
Uh huh.
And you get the power when you're 20.
Uh huh.
Let's say you use this power
Uh
at
huh.
20 and then you go back in time.
To the
You're not going to
1900s.
go back to your mom's and be born 20 years earlier. No, what you're doing is you literally just open up a portal, traveling in time. You arrive 20 years earlier.
Right, but you're not.
You haven't been born yet. Yeah, but you
Okay.
don't have to interact with yourself. In fact, you should avoid that. You just
Okay.
like get a
Yeah.
different
But
name.
you'll still die relatively early.
You
Like,
wouldn't die relatively early. You would die at probably the same age, maybe even better, depending on how much money you have.
no,
Because
dude,
let's say you're
you're not
20 and then you were gonna die
understanding
at
me.
60, you still die at 60.
Yes. Yeah, okay. But you're still born later on because then that would be like a time paradox thing. Because like if you go back in time and then
So
you
yeah, you have to be born to be able to exist. Like
okay, so then you can only go back to like let's all right. I was born in
you could go back to
1999.
whenever you want. You could go back to the age of the dinosaurs.
But
The thing here is that you
there's
can only go one way.
so
That's the only
there's two of
catch.
you,
Yes, there's always going to be two of
but
you.
the other person doesn't have the same power as I do. Because if you make the
Yes,
if you
because it's you. It's just one you.
so it's
There's
gonna
only
loop.
one life that is lived.
So it's gonna loop. Because
Yeah,
okay, so it's
okay. In
okay.
a way, it's going to loop because you're
Because
going to be
okay, yeah,
born.
because you're
You're
gonna
going
be
to get your
born.
power.
You're
You're
gonna
going to
get
use
yeah,
it.
you're gonna use it. So it's just an infinite loop. No.
It's a one-way story. So you're born. You live your life. You get your power. You
But then
use
you're
it,
born
and eventually
again,
you
and
die.
then but you get born again, and then you get the
Okay,
powers.
okay. You know how in this life you were born, you're living it, and eventually you'll die?
I hate time travel. Yeah.
No, no, I'm saying in this life and like your
Okay.
normal life.
Yes.
That's how it's gonna be. Except you can like go
But if
somewhere.
you go
Like
back
let's
in
say I get it.
time, it'll
Okay,
loop.
let's say I get it. And I'm like, you know what? Let me go back to the 80s because I want to rock that hair or whatever. And like
I
I
want
just
the
go back to
bull
the
bush.
80s and I get
I
like a
want
fake name and I just
bull
live my life
bush.
because I can predict the future and stuff. Or you could just choose to go forward if you don't want to go backwards. Just go forward and
But
hope the future is
but
good.
what about the like butterfly effect? So let's say you go back in time and you make a huge investment on Microsoft, just to as an example, but that causes a ripple in time, and then like Steve Jobs, or who the fuck is the owner of Microsoft, Bill Gates, he becomes complacent. He's like, oh, I already made my money. I don't need to go further into this, and then shit just becomes shittier.
Well, it depends on the writer, really, because we don't know how time travel would affect things.
No, we
But
don't.
maybe it's a thing where you already did it in your life, and that's why you got the powers. So it's like it had to happen type thing.
Cause like that's what I'm saying.
Like maybe
There's
in
a
the
lot
life,
of
like yeah, yeah,
this question's
yeah.
a little too complicated. So like, okay, what if you go back in time?
You're making it complicated.
You're not explaining it,
The whole catch is that you can only go forward or you can only go backwards,
but
and
that
you don't even worry
sucks.
about that. You try to
I
make like a whole
do.
paradox.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
there's always
it
gonna be a
doesn't make because
paradox
it
when we're
doesn't
talking
make
about time
sense.
travel, because that's one of the reasons it's impossible.
But no,
Because
well,
it
if you go in the future and you can't go back, that basically tracks. Like that'll keep going. You know what I mean? Like one day you're just gonna disappear and then you're gonna appear in the future. Like that makes sense. But if you go back in the past and you can't travel back and forth, like you're gonna be you're gonna get your power, or you're gonna be born. You're gonna get your power. You're gonna use it. You go back in time, and then you're gonna be born again and make the same decision, or are you gonna like go back to a different time? Like, what's the end game
No,
here?
yeah, yeah. So the thing is that maybe that was always gonna happen. Like you always had your power. Like
Okay, and then like let's say the butterfly effect. So like you go back in time, you put a bunch of money in
yeah,
Microsoft.
but the
Bill
butterfly
Gates,
effect,
hold up.
the butterfly effect is
Bill Gates becomes like complacent. Your parents, he never like I don't know, he never invented computers, so your parents
yeah, but if
never
he never
meet.
invented the computer, you would have never existed to
Yeah, that's what I'm
begin with.
saying.
So
Like
you would have
you,
never been able to go to change
that's
something.
what I'm
So
saying.
the fact that so
So that's
listen,
a
so the fact that you
paradox.
were able to go back to change something means that thing had to happen, right?
So it's a paradox. So like okay, well, that's what I'm saying. The butterfly is like
So you know
so
how time
you
traveling is impossible.
hold up. So like you go back.
Okay, no, no, listen.
No,
So
you listen.
you can never touch the butterfly if you were never born, right? And it's not gonna like like it wouldn't be like, oh, you start fading a little bit by a little bit. Like you would just never been able to do it, but you were able to do it, right? So you would either change the future, but you would still exist because you already exist, and you're the one that changed the future. Because if you didn't exist, you would have never been able to change the future. So the fact that you exist means that it was either always meant to happen or that it happened because you existed. So no,
You
you cannot
you
stop
know what?
existing
You
and
know
prevent
what?
your own birth.
The past
So
past
so now
time
knowing this,
the past is
choose either
stupid.
going forward or going
The
backwards.
past is fucking stupid. Like, what about this? You just go to the future. You open up a savings account, and then you like put in, I don't know, like the amount of money you have now, and then you go to the future, and now all of a sudden your money's like multiplied.
Yeah, and then
I
people
think
were
that's
like, "Oh yeah, you
smarter.
disappeared. We don't know anything about you. Where have you been for the last 100 years?" And like,
Well, that's better
oh,
than
by the
like
way, civilization collapsed
that's better
while
than you
you.
going back in time and not having a
Yeah,
social security number. Because then,
yeah,
like, how
I
does
would
that
go
work?
back though, but you could go back to like back
But
in the
you
day,
won't even like you won't even
live.
exist yet. Like you haven't been born yet, so
Yes,
there's
it
no
doesn't matter
records.
because you're time traveling. You're like if you're
Well, then
20, you
fuck
go
you.
back
I
as a
can
20
open.
year
Then
old.
fuck you. I can open a savings account and put like $1 and go into the
Oh
future.
yeah, I cannot use a fake name. I gotta go with my real name. I wanted to invest money, but I have all this no I have all this knowledge of how things are gonna work. Unfortunately, I haven't been officially born, so I can't,
So you
guys.
don't have a
Sorry.
social security number. You don't have a birth certificate. You don't exist.
Yeah, but you have all this knowledge.
Yeah, but you don't
You could
exist.
kill somebody, take their identity. You could pay somebody to like make you. You
So
could take
now I'm a
somebody's.
murderer.
Yeah, because you have. Yeah, dude,
It's
I would
way
do it.
simpler to
I'd go
like.
back in time. You could go back in time before Social Security. You could go back in
It's
time and
way.
live in like
Oh, the
and become
fucking
a god to a tribe or
1700s, the
something.
1700s, and then what?
Like
You
imagine you
gotta
go
be
to the
like
future and
you gotta be
everybody
like
has like cybernetics and stuff, and they're like, bro, what's your cybernetics? Like,
you're gonna be
where's your
you're gonna be like a fucking Doctor Stone, go back in time and invent electricity.
yeah, basically I'll be a god among men.
You
Or
don't
I
even
could just go
understand
back to like
electricity.
I could go back to like the 60s and 70s, pretend I'm like an illegal like illegal immigrant from Mexico. You know,
Well, then you're fucked. That's even
get married to
worse.
somebody, get their social security, invest in Google, live my best life, and like just enjoy my life to the max.
That's fucking stupid. But if you go to the
No, it's
future,
not.
okay, so let's say you,
If you're going to the future, you're taking a gamble and hoping humanity still exists by then.
I'm assuming it is. I mean, it might be different, but if you go to the past, it doesn't make sense either way. Like there's too
Yes,
many
it makes
logistics.
sense because you're time traveling to the
There's too
past.
many
If it never
logistics.
happened, you wouldn't be able to time travel to the past if you were never born. So therefore, we established that you were born because you would have never been able to time travel if you weren't
So
born.
so so
You would have
everything
never been able to affect anything
so
if you were.
everything just goes back. So okay, so your
No,
mom and
it
like
doesn't because
you're born in the past, right? So then your
no, you're not
mom
born in the past. You're born in the day you were supposed to be
the
born.
present. Yeah, but you can't travel back to the present.
Yes,
So
yeah.
no,
So you just go
no,
back to
you
the
said
past
you
and you
can't
live in
go
the
back. You
past.
said you can't go back.
Yeah, exactly. So you just go back to the past. Let's say you want to live in the 70s. You go back to the 70s. You join one of those hippie like places, where they try to create like the utopias and everybody was having sex with everybody and like
The
the kids were
cult.
like a community thing
Yeah,
where
yeah.
nobody even knew.
You just
Yeah,
go to
if you wanted to do that, you could just go do that. You could just be like, yeah,
you joined
70s, smoke a bunch of weed, have orgies,
you joined the
and
Georgetown thing, and you just remember to not drink the Kool-Aid.
you could just keep living that, and then you remember you can always travel back in time, so you could even use it just for one day. Like yesterday was kind of bad. Let me just go back a day, or let me go back a month. Like I don't know.
I
I
still
would
think
choose the past. I would choose the past. I think there have been eras and like different things like that I would be interested in like visiting. Before I die, once I'm old, I'd be like, I kind of wonder how the pyramids were built. Let me go far. Let me see how far back we can go and
and then
like see who really built
you're
them.
gonna leave like a handwritten like English like
No, I
note.
don't. I wouldn't care to share it with the world. I just want to like satiate my own curiosity and be like, okay, so
That's
now I know.
that's a dick move. You could go back to
I can't go back. That's the
biblical time.
thing.
You can. That's the power. You go back to biblical times, and you're like, you go back, and now you have the
Oh yeah,
answers.
yeah. That's the other reason I would go back
And
and meet Jesus and be
you're
like,
telling me you wouldn't write this shit down? I would.
I wouldn't.
Why not? I mean, you're the going to the past is pointless. Then you're just gonna witness it.
No, I want to enjoy my life and see things I always wanted to see. I would
But
go back and meet
it's gonna
Genghis
be
Khan and be like,
it's gonna be so much more complicated than just going
it's
to the
not
future.
complicated because I
You
would
don't
just
even
go
have to
back to
go.
live a simple life.
You
I
don't
would
even
just go back and live a
hold on.
simple life.
You don't even have to go that far into the future. You could just put like I said, you can open up a savings account and just go back. You go into the future like 10, 20 years and watch your money multiply.
Yeah, and then your family and friends are gonna be like, oh yeah, bro, where have you been the last 20 years? Why did you abandon us?
Well, then your great grandchildren are gonna be like, "Hey, Pablo, isn't this you from the 1950s? How
How
are you
would
still
they know
alive?"
that?
Well, I mean,
I literally told you I'm just gonna live my best life, get a different name, and just like lay low and enjoy my life.
it it just neither way sounds like a good idea. It
It
just
sounds like a good idea. Like I just go
I just
back,
don't think
invest in
that's a good
Google, and
idea.
like get my money, become like a low key millionaire. I don't want to be a billionaire, have a bunch of power. I just want to like have enough where I can just like be like partying and like reading and chilling and playing video games all the
At that
time.
point, you should just gamble like on every football game. Just be like, yeah, like I know who wins this football game. Like I bet like
If,
$10 million.
if I could remember it, but I probably won't.
Well, they
So
have farmers
I
almanacs.
would just invest in like Google and
You
like
can Google shit before you use your power and like write it down and then take it with you.
yeah, that would be the
Because you
plan.
got to remember the stocks and shit. Like you might as well remember or take like a. I just don't think you're gonna enjoy it, dude. Because like in the past,
Uh,
things suck too. Like if you really think about it, like you're not gonna have video games. You're not gonna have electricity. Depending on how far back you go.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, but like I said, like 60s, 70s, 80s, like I think I would enjoy myself. Like shit, who needs video games when you could start a cult? Or when like who needs video games when you're just like drowning in pussy, like and like you're rich, you could just go sailing and like the world and explore places, visit different countries, like like drive exotic cars. Like you could just live your best life.
yeah, you're gonna be driving a Ford Model T. That doesn't make it any better.
I would be driving Ferraris and like Lamborghinis.
But you have to go back to a time where they exist.
Yeah, like I said, 60s, 70s. I wouldn't go back. Maybe even the 50s, where everybody used to dress with suits and stuff.
Like Al Capone days.
Yeah, I like the way they dress.
You can still do that in the future. I just think the future is a little less complicated. Like I said, you don't have to go like
The future is a
you
gamble.
don't
Like
have
it
to
could be
go
way worse or it could be way better.
you don't have
Like
but
you
you
could.
don't have to go like 1,000 years in the future. You can just go like a couple.
Well, yeah, and the same thing with the past. You could just go like 5 years into the past. Could go 10 years. Could go 20.
You just wanted to you capitalize on the Bitcoin and like
I
shit
I
like that.
just I just wouldn't want to risk the future. Like, what if you're like, all right, let me travel 20 years into the future, and you arrive there, and like it's like a desolate land or something, and like you die on arrival. I wouldn't want to take that risk.
You die on arrival, like what is it, deadly as disease or something?
Yeah, like a deadly ass disease, or
We we used up all the
there's like a bunch
oxygen.
of radiation. There was a war or something, and you just die on arrival.
Okay,
Like
well, how
maybe
about you go back even okay, so you go to the post-apocalyptic world, then you go further into the future and they find the cure. Like, you
yeah,
know,
yeah. But what if you die on arrival?
well, like
Like
I don't think radiation kills you immediately. I think it takes a minute. What if
you just
you
have
go into
cancer.
the
What if you're gonna arrive and you were telling me about the social security. You're gonna arrive in the future and be like, I need medical treatment. Who are you, sir? We need to like scan your things. You're not
yeah,
in the database. And then they
okay.
start studying you because you're like, who is this man? And was there like no trace of him? And then they find like, they find your fingerprint and it's like, this man looks the same age, but he disappeared like 50 years ago. And they start doing experiments on you and stuff.
Well, I mean the same thing. Well, they're gonna investigate you if you go to the past and you know a bunch of shit. They're gonna
No,
like
because I'm gonna be
you like
lucky. I'm not gonna invest enough.
are you gonna go to like New York on September 11th, 2000?
No, I would just invest enough to
Just
like where I
be
can live
like,
a comfortable life,
just go
but
around and be like,
I
hey,
wouldn't invest enough to become like powerful to the point where people would be wary of me. I would just invest enough to be like, oh yeah, so I can just travel, different countries and bang a woman in every country, and like, once I check the list, I'm done. Like I just lived a good life.
you just what whatever, dude. It's
So
just it's
which one would you choose? So I'm
I
guessing you
said
would choose the
future.
future one.
I just think it's less complicated than going in the past. The past thing just makes less sense.
Mm.
Because like Futurama rules, like Fry got frozen, and he came out to the future. The future's all cool, and they have like futuristic shit. Of course, it's a gamble, but I mean, going back to the past, we're fucking Mexicans. You think that we're gonna be treated well?
Uh, Mexican is a nationality, not a race.
I don't give a damn.
Okay,
You're
you,
brown.
you,
You're getting kicked around in the past, baby.
but yeah, yeah. I don't think brown is a race. Like
Oh, it's a race, all right.
it's not a race. Mexicans, there are black Mexicans, there are white Mexicans, there are
It
mixed Mexicans. Like
doesn't matter. You're not
Mexican is
gonna
not
have
a
a.
race.
You're still
Like
not gonna have a social security number.
I could just steal one, bro. I could just like, like investigate somebody. Like, oh yeah, this dude's grandma was like hot back in the day. Show up in time when like, and be like, hey,
It's not like you're gonna
so
be able to replace them. You got disguise powers too.
no, but I would know what she likes and stuff. Go try, I'd just be like, yeah, let me. Oh yeah, so your grandpa died and left your grandma alone. That type of thing. Just go back in time and like marry somebody or get a social security. Or like go back to the amnesty thing where the US, where they gave papers to the people that were coming to work at the farms. You just go back to that time
Yeah,
and get papers that
you're gonna
way.
have to. You're stuck there
Or
because
you could just go to a different
you
country. Like
can't
you don't
go
even have
back.
to go to the US.
You
Like
can't go back
I
in
could,
further.
yeah, I would just go back,
You have to
travel to
pick. You have to
Japan.
pick one really good like time period and just stick with it. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
you're only gonna use your power
but I
like
feel like I
once.
could do research and actually plan things out and make it work. Where in the future, I'm just taking a gamble. Like I feel like if I had the power to travel to the future, I wouldn't use it unless things got really bad. Because when you get there, things might be worst.
Okay, but I mean, but you're only gonna be able to use your power like once and like live your
No, I,
life.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to use it once. Like I told you, I would be like, okay, well, the '80s were fun. Let's go try the '70s. '70s were fun. Let's go try the '60s because you have all this knowledge and stuff, and you
Okay,
know how things
what
work
about
and how things
money? Like,
happen.
okay,
Hmm?
so what about money? Like, what if you like you have futuristic money and then you go back in time and they're gonna be like, hey, why does your money look weird? Like, why does your $20 bill look different? Like, you're gonna get investigated. You're gonna get experimented on either way.
Almost like you could buy bills from that time era. Like I told you, I would do my research and prepare accordingly.
But
Like
what I mean,
I would only take bills, or I could
from
even
the
take fake money.
1950s or something. What if you
Yeah,
go further back and
yeah, yeah. Or I could even take fake money, like like
fake money?
yeah, yeah. You know how people print illegal money? I could just print it with the legal date. Like I would look up dollars from the '50s or whatever. Take some gold or like
Yeah,
know
yeah. I'm
where
about to say
like
once you
treasure
go,
is gonna be
well,
found and go find
or what
it.
if you go all the way
Or
back?
literally,
You go
or
way,
literally
you
just
go
steal it,
further,
because you can travel away anytime.
you go further back, and they still using like gold, silver, copper coins. Like, I just don't.
Yeah, and then you just take some silver and gold with you, and if you cannot bring anything, like you will know where to find it. Like, oh yeah, so some guy found this treasure here. Let me just get here.
What
Like, imagine you get to the future and you have nothing. It's the same thing. Imagine you get to the
you
future, you
just
have
have to
nothing. They use a different currency. Like they have advanced weapons and like advanced police and AI and stuff, and they just detect you. Like, what are you
look,
gonna
dude.
do?
We're already playing with fake money. Like if everybody was to withdraw their money from their bank, it wouldn't be
No,
possible. Like, it's all
it's
fake
that's
money.
real money. I'm talking about fake
No,
money
no,
in the sense that
it is fake money, dude. We don't
it's not
have that
fake
amount
money
of money.
because it has value.
But
People assign value to things, and China was using. I think they were the first ones to use paper money, and as long as you give it value, it's real money. Like the
well,
difference between a dollar bill,
you're
the
gonna
difference
have to
between a
process.
dollar bill and money I can make at home is that the money I make at home has no value because nobody gives it value. If people were willing to pay for the money I make at home, it would have real value. It wouldn't be fake anymore because it would have real value.
Okay, so you're gonna have to whore yourself out, you whore.
Yeah, it's somebody's hot grandma. Well, future hot grandma.
This is stupid. Anyways, I think that's enough.